In the upper right, the only Protoss player in our group. He is
So Dear.
And in the bottom left, coming here from Busan, he is
MVP DongRaeGu.
Oh, okay. I'm actually really excited to see what Deer chooses to do this game, because I think the onus is basically on him. Like, you know, generally speaking in the matchup, the Zerg is going to be the reactive one. So
that's how Zerg operates. It's a reactive race.
You know, while being active, while deciding the tempo by being the attacker can be okay. You know, you have to be very careful about that. Now, Deer is going with a gateway expand for the first time here, and thing is, DRG doesn't really care. He basically opens the same way all the time. Hatchery first, make sure he doesn't get cannon rushed, and then, well, go into speed if your opponent is going for gateway expand.
By the way, guys, check out our sponsor shop below. If you saw that website in time.
Yes, JOGUNSHOP.
JOGUNSHOP. Now, was that you, Artosis?
That was me, sorry.
Oh, Artosis. Oh, Artosis.
My little belly.
That was a... Oh, man. You're just a nasty guy, Artosis.
I guess so.
I guess so. You were...
Didn't mean to. Now, look, he's faking a cannon rush right now.
And this is good
these
because...
drones out.
Yeah, the drones are not mining right now. It's making DRG just focus his attention over here.
And when you're doing this as Zerg, you know, here he's figured out, he's like, okay, you're a liar, is what just happened there. But also that delays any possible gas. DRG may have gotten a gas a bit quicker if he hadn't faked that, which means quicker speed, which means easier to stop any gateway pushes. So this is going to be, if DRG chooses to take a quicker third, it's going to be easier for him to hold against a gateway follow-up to this gateway expand, like a gateway zealot timing attack.
Yeah.
3 or 4.
All right, the Nexus now coming up. And that core is done. So momentarily we will see what Deer has planned for us.
Will he be grabbing a couple gateways? Or will he be making a Stargate? Or will he do something crazy, which would be anything else?
And with Deer, you never know what to expect. He's definitely got his own way of approaching the game.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool player. I like a lot of his builds. So, we'll see this in just a second as that finishes up that pylon. You gonna build a building for us here, buddy?
Buddy, how guy?
Can we have a builder? Well, he's making his stock right now. Now, there's a lot you can do when you do open with a stalker like this. There's a lot of different builds. Like, you can clear a lot of overlords with it. A lot of times this does lead into a nice little gateway pressure. And, in fact, yeah, he is adding a couple gateways there at the front. So, probably see him just push and harass lightly with this.
Yeah, so he's not teching up just yet. But I do agree he has to get that wall in up very quickly.
Yeah, you have to be very careful if your opponent does hit some sort of weird attack. So forces that overlord out. So it's going to be harder to scout what's going on. Now, with these 3 gates, I'm wondering what his plan is. Because he doesn't have a probe out in the map at all.
He can get that if he goes over there, right? Yeah.
There you go. You got it. Okay, there it is, the robo. Okay, so I would say there's a pretty decent chance that he's going to do like a kind of crazy 2-base attack here.
Yeah, I think there's a high chance
with
of that.
the robo that quickly.
Well, he's got those gates out very quickly. And the robo coming out here, like, you can get some immortals, but you get the observer out at the moment that you need it exactly to attack into him.
Could be seeing a warp prism. We do have one
we could
sentry.
see a warp prism as well. That's a good point.
Warp prism's always quite nice. You can always expand behind the warp prism too if you like. We have seen a few Protosses do stuff like that pretty recently in the matchup. Now, for DRG, I love this little group of speedlings. He's just kind of staying active out there, trying to figure out what's going on. There it is. It is the Immortal. So we will be seeing an Immortal push coming up.
And he did go up there to peek and see what exactly the tech was. He did see that robotics facility.
Roach Warren is on the way. Baneling Nest.
Now that's interesting.
That is interesting. Now, if he was like getting Burrow or something with it, I would understand a bit more. Okay, there. Never mind. Makes a lot more sense now. So we do have this one of these double rounds of Zealot Warpins coming in. Those things are pretty dangerous. Again, this is one of those maps that people haven't figured out exactly how to scout for pylons. So a little bit annoying there.
And what he wants to do is try to get rid of this hatchery or the bare minimum kill drones, and then he just warps out.
So he does not want to lose this hatch. If this hatchery goes down, then Deer is in a gigantic lead. And even right now, he's gaining an advantage.
Yeah, well, because right now...
Okay.
And see, right when he deems, okay, this is not going to do enough damage, warps back home, and now builds up, and he'll be preparing for the second attack here.
Oh, man, 4 more gates on the way. He's popping out a third Immortal. I think we'll be seeing a Warp Prism right after this, and there we go. He is moving out. This is going to be really scary, Tasteless. But, you know what? This is very Zealot heavy, and the gases are never going to hit that natural, so Banelings are actually a unit that can be very useful in this.
Now, he's walled himself in here, but the Banelings...
oh, my God.
Does manage to destroy the entrance.
Yeah, it looks like that's what he's going for.
Here and do a good amount of damage, but then again, you got to ask yourself, those Banelings are hitting the second base for the Protoss. Does the Zerg have enough to defend as well?
I would say for sure the Zerg third is going down, but he supply caps him right there, and here we go, going after these probes. This natural probably going to end up dying. And the probes, oh my God.
That's not moving those at all.
Ooh, yeah, he was wanting to not clump them too much. So this third going to go down, but a 2-base Zerg against a 1-base Protoss is much better than 3-base Zerg against a 2-base Protoss.
All right, Baneling's here now, hitting those sentries. Nicely done. There's a small remainder of Protoss units out here. He has not gotten rid of those other units warping in. Nice Couture with the Immortal!
Oh, and the drone gets it. All right, so that's actually very important that he got that one. That is a very little army right there. And actually, he never did get to kill that natural expansion. Never did rally up any more units. Had to keep him at home. But he's really hurt the economy of Deer at least.
And he can get up here. And let's see if he can do any more damage right now. Now, if these Banelings hit the Immortals, they're not going to be very effective.
That's right. He's going to want to hit the Zealots. If he can hit the Zealots with them, though, this is going to... Oh, God, that was really nice.
Yeah, that was really good. But I think Deer might just have too much. We have the drones being pulled now. We have just the right number of force fields being used, and that's going to be a GG. Another upset here as Deer manages to beat DRG. You can see DRG very disappointed in himself right now at the bottom right-hand side of your screen.
Now he has to play Sulky, and the loser gets out of the entire round of 16, the entire Codes. Deer, though, played very, very well. Some strong builds, some good execution.
He's looking primed to get out of this group.
That was kind of a cool counterattack by DRG, but a little bit weird as well, because you see when it's like only a 2-gas all-in that we saw from Deer, I feel like why not try to crush the army a little bit better, whereas he was like, well, we're going to kind of do a little bit of a base trade. Thing is, you need to be able to hold your natural every single time you lose your third in a situation like that, which he lost, but he was even fighting at his third quite a bit, which was, when you're fighting at your third, I'm like, shouldn't you wait for maybe a little bit more overwhelming odds to try to kill this off, like when it's coming towards natural?
Agree. Yeah. Again, it's a real balancing act when you get those Banelings to tear down the entrance to the Protoss, and then you have to defend back at home.
Yeah.
And with the Nexus Cannon, and yes, he killed some probes off with the Banelings, but there were still enough probes there to help try to defend. He could micro it. It just wasn't enough, and DRG lost. We're going to go on to our winners match after this short break. It's going to be Sleep against Deer, surprisingly enough. Can't wait. We'll be right back.